One of the coolest parts about fight sticks and arcade controllers in general in 2024 is how moddable most of them are. If you own one, replacing the buttons and joysticks is typically pretty easy, unless you're trying to put a Korean lever in a Hori Alpha.
Oh no!
Then you have to do a little bit of modification.
Prepare yourself.
If you own a Hori Alpha and you've been wondering if you could put a Korean lever in, depending upon the lever, you may be able to. If it's a full collar one, probably not, unless you're willing to get a really big drill bit and drill into your case and or plexiglass. I myself am not willing to do that. However, there is another option. The knee lever Neo has a short collar on it, so I can just fit it in there. The only issue is that the case is pretty thin. I'm going to show you what the process for modding this is like. Shout out to old dude from r/Fightsticks. Without him and his thread on there, I don't think that I would have been able to mod this properly, and moreover, I would have probably had to buy another stick. So shout out you, dude. Also, none of you are allowed to comment how there's cat hair on me.
Judgment.
I own a cat. It's the winter in Michigan right now, and I'm cozy, and this is my video, goddammit.
Eddy's loser.
And speak of the devil, as soon as I finished recording that, it came in the mail. Let's get into it, dude. All right, y'all, since you're watching this video, you're probably already familiar with the knee lever Neo or Korean levers in general, so I'm not going to go into what makes this lever special, but needless to say, it is pretty great. It feels super premium. I will note that the capsule top feels a little small for my hands, but once I put the thing on, it felt great. Coming from the perspective of only using a Japanese style lever before, there is a lot more tension on this, and I like it. Also, another thing to note, don't use your hands to put in the E-clip. All you gotta do is use a pair of pliers. It makes a 5-minute job last about 5 seconds. All right, so we're gonna pop open our case here. If you've never modded a case before or taken apart a lever, it's fairly simple. All you do is unscrew the original lever, take a flathead, put it at the base of the stick, and then you're gonna screw off the ball top. There it is. Remove the lever and then remove the cable. For this particular mod, I'm actually not going to be putting the wiring in before I put the lever in, and I'll show you why in a second here. In order to make this lever actually fit, we need to sand down the interior of the case. I'm not using any sort of crazy sandpaper here, just some cheap stuff I got on Amazon that attaches to my drill bit, and I'm not sanding anything like crazy. I'm just trying to get the diamond patterns to flatten out underneath where the lever actually touches the case. Close the case, move your lever around a little bit, and it's going to create a little divot where you need to actually drill a hole to truly make this lever fit in place. You're going to take a 3/4 inch drill bit. Right here, I'm just doing a little pilot hole. I'm not drilling into my desk. And then we're just going to drill right through the case. Clean little hole there. It is a little off center, but for my purposes, this is going to work just fine. I'm not going to go into too great a detail in terms of how to actually wire up a Korean lever in a Japanese case. I will link a video in the description that goes over it in far more detail than I'm about to, but I will note 3 things. Number 1, I should have removed the lever before I attached the wires. The adapter I got was from Focus Attack, which is probably where you're going to be getting yours from if you live in the US. And the cables are very close together, and having a little bit more room would have made it a lot easier. One other thing, that said adapter from Focus Attack, make sure you're fitting the pins so that the part that you are going to be unclipping is facing outwards. When you inevitably mess it up, it's going to make your life a lot easier when you have to disconnect the pins. The last thing to mention is particular to the Hori Alpha. Connection for the Hori Alpha actually has 6 pins in it, which is strange. I actually got it wrong the first time, but the proper way to connect it is just like this.
You
Did your
win.
best. I respect that.
Okay, so does a Korean lever make you better at Tekken? No. If you want to get good at Tekken, there's a whole bunch of different stuff that you got to do. There's hours and hours of practice, labbing, yada, yada, yada. There's a million different tutorials on that. Do I think it's more fun to play Tekken with the Korean lever? Yeah. Absolutely. The responsiveness that you get from it is just different than with a Japanese style lever. And at least referring to the Neo here, it just feels fun to use. I've been playing leverless pretty much since I got one, only using a levered arcade stick when I kind of wanted to switch things up. But yeah, it's just awesome. The installation process itself wasn't too challenging or invasive, I should say. I mean, I did drill a hole in the case and sand smooth it down. Aesthetically, it's basically the same. Fortuitously, on the same day that the knee lever came in, I also got my shipment for Qanba gravity buttons, and I'm really excited about those. I just put them in at the same time, so I'm just gonna show you the before and after. It's a double feature, baby. All right, we're gonna unbox these bad boys and put them in our controller. Further on in the video, I'm gonna do a little sound test between the buttons that I currently have in it, which are the clone Sanwas that come in the 8-bit Do controller. I don't mind them. I think they're all right. We're going to be comparing them to the Hori Hayabusas that came stock in the controller. Don't love them. Think they're really bad buttons, actually. Sorry, Hori. Make great cases, not great buttons. We're also going to be comparing them to authentic Sanwas that are in my hitbox. And finally, we're going to be comparing them to what I primarily use, which is a Haute42 R16. I switched out the switches that came stock with Kailh Wind Engines. And if you own any Haute42 device, I highly encourage you to do this. It makes the controller feel at least $50 more expensive. Also, I love how easy it is to remove the cables from the buttons on the Hori Alpha. All you got to do is press this little tab and they come right out. Really wish more controllers had this kind of functionality. It is a godsend for modding. Anyways, here is the sound test. Alright, y'all, don't mind me diddling these buttons here, but they all feel significantly differently from one another as well. The closest to being the Sanwa clones, which makes sense. The reason that I'm hitting it at different points on the button is because I want to see how they feel. And the Sanwa clones feel okay. The Hori Hayabusas, I don't know if it's showing that well in this video, but when hit off axis, they just rattle around. That is in comparison to the Haute42s with the Kailh Wind Engine switches, where they feel super solid and it is a singular downward force. The Qanba gravities, I would say, are a near close second, if not equivalent to my leverless controller here. All right, y'all, I'm gonna leave you with some footage here, and I mentioned that I don't main Kazuya, but I do main Eddy, so I'm gonna leave you guys with some gameplay of that.
Fight.
So yeah, I hope this video helped you out. If you're considering getting the knee lever, it's awesome. I've been taking Tekken seriously for about like 3 months now, and it really does feel like I upgraded my kit. So, all right, y'all.